Okay, so this is an example of an animation. You can do as I'm moving. You can do one that is changing background color, it's rotating, so many things. So basically what happens in animation is just a change in CSS properties and the values. That is just what's done there. It's not like it's a special thing. Now you can have multiple animations in one HTML page, like in one file. So like in this case now we have 3 of them. There's the one that is running for this element, the yellow one is different from the one that is running on this one that is it pink or red? Is different from the one that is running on this one. So there are like 3 of them. You can program as many of them as you want. Okay, so we'll first of all have our HTML file there, and my animation 1. Okay, so I'll use an internal CSS for it. So let's say I'll just do a quick style, setting a background color on it, setting a width. So like I said, you can have as many animations as possible. So I'll come down here and then create an animation. So the first animation I'm going to create is going to be a very simple one. The first animation I'm going to do is to create animation that will change in background color. So you create animations using the keyframes rule. So at keyframes, now this is the name of your animation. So I'll say so this is my one. Now inside the keyframes, you now define, so you could use any name. It's not the same as this one.
Exactly.
So inside the keyframes, you now define some rules, CSS rules, and how the animation will be. So there's a starting point, which is from this way, and then we now add background color. Let's say red 2. Then I'll now change it from that red to black. Start with red and end with black. So here I just created the animation, right? I'll now come to this place here and then add it to this very element. I could add it to any element at all, but we know that this is where we did what we created our animation. So I'll come in and add it. So you have animation. I'll now say animation name, which is the name of the animation, BG. I'll now set animation duration. That is how long it will take to change from that color red to black. So let's say I say 5 seconds. Then I will say change from this, go to black, then stop. Now your animation returns to its original state when it's done. So when it reach black now, it will now return back to orange. You understand? So you see that here is CSS. You can do any kind of rule you want here. So it will switch from the first one, but you can do multiple CSS.
Okay.
I'll now come here, maybe I want to add something like border radius. So here border radius is 0. Here border radius will be 50%. It will be going around, and then it will go back to its normal thing. Do any CSS rule. Now you see it's the same background color, you're only changing the value. It's the same border radius, you're only changing the value. It's the same properties, you're only changing the value from red to black, from 0 to 50%. Now the animation will run once. I'll now come here and add animation iteration count. That is how many times it will run. So let's say I use 4 times. Now it's going to do that 4 times and then stop. Now if you want it to run continuously, I will use infinite, like the way this one is running now continuously. I'll now use infinite for it. So this is a basic animation. We're going to do another one. So this is the second one, and then this one is my Annie 2. So I'll come here and say
okay.
So this is Annie 2. I'm going to change the background color on this one to yellow. So we're creating the second animation now. I'll still use add keyframes again, and then this time I'll use So now let me use it to remove. Okay, so I'll now come here again and define new rules. This second animation now. So in this one, instead of using from and to, I want to use new identifiers. So I will use 0%. Now 0% states the beginning of your animation, just like from, and then 100% states the end of the animation, that is 2. I could have used 0% here and then 100% here. Now the thing with this one is, this one, because it's in percentage, it allows you to have multiple points. So that I can have 0%, I will have 10%, I'll have 20%. You understand? I have 0%, 1%, 2%. That is, you have multiple points where you change the rows. See that here I could only change from red to black. Background color, green. Here, background color, it's yellow. Let's use blue. So I will now add the animation here. This one, the animation name is move. See, change it from red, from green. So I can come here and then say at 50% it should have another background color. So set here now to be red. So it will switch, it will change from green to red to blue. Okay, but here now I don't want to do a background color. In position, if we want to move an element, we wish to give it position, right? Either position fixed or absolute. So I'm going to position this object as an absolute element so that I'll be able to move it. So I'll come here and say this one has what you call it, this is left. Left is left from the beginning is 0, and now come here and say left, the end is 100%. The name of our animation now is div. Okay, it's not move again, it's div. So it's going to move like that. So I'm going to comment this one. Comment. So I'm going to cause a border radius on this one. Create a border radius of 50%. It becomes a circle. And then I will set the border to 10px solid black. And then I will set the border bottom to the same 10 red. Okay, so I have a circle. I'm going to now cause it to spin. So I'll use the transform property now and then rotate. So I'll rotate this one to be on 0 degrees, and then use the same transform and then rotate this one by 360 degrees so that it goes all around. I uncomment this now. It's now going to be spinning. Now remember where the spinning is coming from. So it was moving.
Yeah, so you now change the transform.
So we now use transform to make it to rotate.